Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen, and we are back with another explained video. Now, one thing I want to state straight from the outset is all credit for information is directly taken from Aliens: The Blueprints. This is a book courtesy of Titan Publishing, and I really would encourage you to check it out. Linked above right now is my personal review of the book. I would genuinely recommend this. It is absolutely fantastic. Now, last week I covered the USCSS Nostromo, and on that video I had many requests to discuss the Sulaco, which many people remember from the very famous Aliens. Now, perhaps the first thing to point out is the designation difference between the two ships. We have the USCSS Nostromo, which of course stands for United States Commercial Starship. Now, with respect to the USS Sulaco, we are dealing with a completely different beast owned by completely different people. Now, comparatively, we look at the USS Sulaco, which stands for the United States Starship Sulaco. So, not a huge difference between the two names, but a variable which does need to be discussed. Now, of course, I absolutely commend the miniature work done on both films. I do feel like the Sulaco took it that one step further, and this is a absolutely incredibly designed spacecraft. One unlike anything we had seen before in Star Trek, Star Wars, and all various sci-fi. Now, the USS Sulaco is in fact the 13th Conestoga class starship series to be built. The USS Sulaco included a very new Block 74 revision to her last refit in 2174. The Conestoga class vessels were originally designed as a troop transport with limited defense capabilities. However, this role would be massively evolved over the years, and retrofitting of heavy weaponry was ordered moving forwards. This then in turn evolved the Starship into a light assault ship with secondary responsibilities for space control and orbital bombardment support. This role was amended further with the introduction of the Bougainville class attack transports in 2180. 25 Conestoga class starships remained in service of the original 36 that was built, with joint funding from the UAAC and Weyland-Yutani Corp. Joint ownership with Weyland-Yutani Corp of the Conestoga fleet allows USASF Transport Command and the USCM to play a prominent role in the protection of Weyland-Yutani Corp interests throughout the frontiers of the network. Now, it would be during a mission in 2179 to investigate a loss of transmission between Sol and Hadley's Hope colony on Acheron LV-426 in the Zeta 2 Reticuli system that the USS Sulaco disappeared. Now, the outcome of the mission is deemed classified. However, of course, that is the events of Aliens, and furthermore, the events of Alien 3. The space frame of the USS Sulaco masses 78,000 metric tons and 731.6 meters in length. The Conestoga class starships are designed to an 8-17-0 layout. Constructed of bonded alloy and composite spars, the space frame can withstand not only great accelerations but also the stresses of atmospheric re-entry, being able to structurally flex and bend. Optimum cargo capacity is achieved within a compact and well-armoured hull skin, which is heavier than that found on conventional space transports. This armoured skin consists of a laminated shell of insulators, alloy micrometeorite shielding, composite armour protection, and aerogel layers. The aerogel layers are able to dissipate absorbed radiation doses of up to 180 kilograms from direct energy weapons. Though, it should be noted that protection against kinetic kill weapons, as with all space vessels, is limited. Now, as with all spacefaring vessels, it does come with an artificial intelligence. All autonomic functions, including power generation, life support, auto repair, and emergency subsystems, are controlled by the central Titan 1200 processor. However, the primary task of this 28TB carbon 60-core AI mainframe is to run a powerful logic driver which commands the navigation, drive, and defense functions, and is intelligent enough to make informed decisions regarding navigations, rules of engagement, pursuit, and escape. There is an 8TB system backup mainframe. This is the Titan 600. This comes online in the event of a CPU failure, with a third tier of automatics capable of sustaining autonomic functions should the backup fail too. Access to the computer is available from the main flight deck and via command consoles that are found in several locations within the ship, including the processor core and the drive engineering section. The system is self-diagnostic, and redundancy is provided by the 8TB backup mainframe. Now, this is interesting because, of course, the Nostromo, and something which we would consider most vessels in the alien universe would have, is Mother. Now, this would probably be news to most people that it was Titan, but there you go. It was running a Titan 1200 processor as opposed to Mother. Now, this is, of course, because Mother, typically speaking, is a Weyland-Yutani operating system, and if this is the USS Sulaco, although co-owned with Weyland-Yutani, it would have to be running an impartial AI system. Now, of course, the USS Sulaco would have to have a vast power core. The vessel's primary power system is a Westinghouse A59 fusion reactor with a maximum generating output of 3.6 terawatts. Like most military vessels, the Conestoga's use of lithium hydride, or dry fusion plant, using the crystalline powder form of lithium hydride as basic fuel. In the event of a breach of the reaction chamber, the reactor goes into a cold shutdown mode. Though, if the cooling system is ruptured by hostile fire, first, the cold shutdown protocols are initiated, and second, the dangerously hot coolant is vented directly into space. In this instance, auxiliary power is provided by a battery of 4 Continental Electric AS-B4 and AV5 series magneto-hydrodynamic turbines, which generate between 20 and 40 megawatts each. Behind the Fusion Taurus is the drive section of the USS Sulaco. This houses the propulsion system. The Conestoga-class vessels are equipped with a dual-drive system for faster-than-light travel, and sublight travel and maneuver. For sublight thrust and maneuver, the Sulaco employs 4 Gates Heidemann GF240 rocket motors powered directly by the fusion drive. Running wide open, each engine can generate thrust in excess of 35,100 metric tons, with the total power giving the vessel a specific excess power ratio of over 181. Although fuel consumption is extremely high, and the thrust can only be sustained for short periods. By running the engines at a fraction of the maximum, it allows for a more gentle and fuel-efficient burn. For faster-than-light travel, a Romberg-Rockwell Cygnus 5 hyperdrive tachyon shunt is used to accelerate the vessel through the light barrier. The hyperdrive initiates tachyon quantum jumps by creating an intense virtual mass field while at sublight velocity. The mass field expands to supercritical levels approaching infinity. A subquantum transition to a tachyonic state takes place, and the mass of the starship is converted into mirror image tachyons of the same energy. In a tachyonic state, the vessel can travel no slower than the speed of light whilst remaining in real space. Hyperdrive field density and the intensity of the virtual mass field is controlled from a bank of 480 to 510 MTY tachyon field accelerators. For regular operations, the system is capable of sustaining a high cruising speed of 0.74 light years per sidereal day. Now, of course, the USS Sulaco is not without its emergency systems. Damage control is handled by automatics, and if the fusion torus is catastrophically damaged, the entire reactor assembly is jettisoned before it explodes, and then the backup systems are brought online. Hull breaches are easily located thanks to the compartmentalization of the hull, and valuable life support can be cut off from the damaged sections. If the hull is sufficiently damaged that it can no longer maintain viable life support, the starship's commanding officer or the automatic crisis management system can initiate emergency evac. Each vessel carries 20 Type 337 emergency escape vehicles, EEVs, which may be launched within seconds of the decision to abandon ship. If the crew are unable to reach an EEV because they are in hibernation, the automatics will load their hypersleep capsules aboard the escape vessels and launch them. Should the starship's commanding officer wish to scuttle the ship, they can do so by overriding the main reactor's cooling system, so initiating a supercritical nuclear reactor, and this self-destruct system must be activated manually, and it is primed to allow the crew 15 minutes to evacuate the ship and reach a safe distance from the center of the explosion. Now, in terms of weaponry, the USS Sulaco does have that capability. It is outfitted with particle beam guns, both starboard and port, along with a laser turret, both starboard and port. The full list of weaponry that the USS Sulaco holds is 8 XIM-28A Long Lance anti-satellite missiles, 2 800 MeV turbo alternator-powered neutral particle beam weapons, along with 2 railgun turrets, dorsal and ventral, equipped with twin launchers, 30 RPM EA, 2 laser turrets, port and starboard, 60 fragmentation mines, 80 free-fall guided re-entry vehicles, nuclear, high-X, kinetic decoy. And of course, deep within the USS Sulaco, it has the storage capacity for 2 UD-4L Cheyenne utility dropships. So that is a detailed explained video on the USS Sulaco. I'm not really going to run down the locations of certain elements here and there. It is a vast ship. If you want a more detailed breakdown of the various layers of the USS Sulaco, then I would really genuinely encourage you to pick up the book Aliens, the Blueprints. The reason why I can't really do it is, one, this video is super long as is already, but also secondary is imagery actually pertaining to what I'll be discussing is very difficult to find, and I want to make this video as engaging and as representative of the content as possible. Anyway, I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up. You guys really seem to rally around the last one, so I would love to get that thumbs up, and also a share and a comment if you are new here. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, I have been Mr. H. Take care.